Konnichiwa, everybody. This is Kon-Trooll. I'm Cheston.
I'm Julio.
And we're here at the Kon Wrap-Up for Amicon 2013.
Yes.
For those of you that might not have been following our channel, Amicon 2013 was in Amarillo, Texas. Happened the weekend of July 20th. It was a single-day con. Admission was $5, and it was a day chock full of speakers, tournaments, anime,
steampunk, cosplay, the works.
Anything and everything.
Everything you can think of. So, yeah. Wonderful convention, I have to say.
Actually, it was for the size and everything. Some good stuff, some bad stuff. I mean, there's always places to improve.
Yeah. That's how the con gets better.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's see here.
Let's start with the pros. What we enjoyed.
Yeah. Let's see. The first thing that we all enjoyed is, like he said, affordable.
$5.
$5, 1 day convention.
Can't get any better than that.
Yeah. You got dealer room, everything like that. I mean, yeah.
With today's prices, even for single day tickets, because they were bought at the door, $5 at the door. And when you're looking at single day conventions or even 3-day conventions for a Saturday pass, you're still looking $20, $30, $40.
Yes.
And in today's economy, always a plus.
Yes. Another thing that we want to talk about is it was family friendly.
Extremely. A couple of questionable cosplays, but still PG-13.
Yes.
Which,
I mean, even the language was kept PG-13.
yeah, you had nobody screaming out profanity, which is quite unusual.
Yes. Let's see. Lots to do. I mean, lots to do.
Yes, which we'll be covering later on also.
Yes.
But, I mean, break it down. You had dealer's room.
Yeah. We had the gaming and tournament area.
Yeah, we had several tournaments going on.
We had the video room, which was showing anime throughout the day.
And also they premiered. Yeah, this is what you get for working in my line of work. It premiered Wonder Woman, which was the documentary about women in comics.
Yeah.
Which, the parts that I caught, I really wouldn't mind sitting down and watching it. That was really enjoyable.
That's good to hear. Let's see here. Safe.
Extremely safe.
Extremely safe.
You could drop your kids off and not have to worry about it.
Yep.
And why was that?
Well, let's see. Like, what do you mean by that?
Let's put it this way. Amarillo PD had a huge police presence out there.
Yeah, that's true.
So you didn't have to worry about, all the bad things that you always hear, all these con horror stories going on about, this happening, that happening, which 99% of them are still false, but still APD was out there. Walk around, make sure everything was safe and secure.
Yeah. And that's always a plus because that just also makes it very family friendly and safe and everything like that. And then all age groups can enjoy it. So that was the plus. That was a really good plus. Let's see. Very friendly staff. Dealers, panelists, of the people that were organizing the tournament. I mean, friendly.
This was one of the few cons that I didn't hear a single bad word about any of the staff going on, even after it. Yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty rare for a convention because, it's happened. We all know it.
Yes, it's happened. I mean, everybody has those people that just irk you, and quite frankly, it happens at the conventions. It's one of the downsides when you have a lot of volunteers running around.
Yeah. So, yeah, volunteers were great. I mean, very, very wonderful staff. And even
including everybody that was running the gaming tournaments, were friendly. I haven't heard any bad words about the tournaments being run themselves. So.
Yeah. And, yeah, it was wonderful. And then the next thing is the turnout. Which...
Had to go anti-air there for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Turnout.
Yeah, turnout. Anyway, yeah, so the turnout for their second year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Second year.
2,700.
Which is huge for a second year Saturday single day convention.
Yes.
And when you consider it's taken Nandesu-kan last year was their Sweet 16, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
They booked solid even with all their overflow passes, the 3-day pass, and everything on Saturday. To where you couldn't get in on Saturday if you hadn't had your ticket, early enough in the morning.
Yeah.
Or even the day before. And that they cap out, I believe, almost at 8,000 people.
Yeah.
So for a little second year one day convention, being able to get roughly about a quarter to a third of the attendance that Nandesu-kan gets is really good.
Yeah. And, I mean, for it being a convention that was put on by the public library,
yes,
it's awesome. I mean, wonderful. Not to mention it helps buy some books and all that other good stuff, so.
Spreads the influence.
Yes.
So just
Read.
And remember, it is cool being a geek.
Yes.
Look at us, we're cool.
Yes. Why did we just do that? Anyway, okay. Where did that come from? But yeah, I understand what you're
cool.
We are cool. Yeah,
we're cool. Being geek is cool. I mean, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
I got no problem being a geek.
I don't have no problem either.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up all the pros that I can think of. So.
That's all I can think of. Which is, in turn, a lot of pros, usually second year convention, we come back with this feeling like, oh my god, do I really want to cover this one again next year? Or even before we were doing these, you're like, oh my god, are we really going back? Please don't say so.
Yeah.
And
this one, I don't think we're going to be saying that, are we?
Not really. Not really. I mean, this was fun and enjoyable.
Yeah, and I'm planning on going.
but unfortunately, as long as there's pros, there are some cons. And hopefully these are some cons that can be corrected next year or even the year after.
Yeah.
Because a couple of them because both of them in my book are pretty big.
Yeah.
And about the only downside to the convention that really hurts it in my book.
Yeah. Other than that, it was, yeah. All right.
And these happen to be.
Our
first one is
way too much to do.
Yeah, you never expect hearing that from a convention. There's way too much to do.
Yeah.
Because you always have those groups of people that are sitting outside like, great, we're bored. Entertain us.
That's when you get a nice game of battle dice together.
Very true. But kind of explain what I mean by way too much to do. They had a huge dealer's room. They had panels going. They had one panel room going. They had the anime going. And if you went and you decided to jump in any of the tournaments at one point, starting or beginning, there were 8 different tournaments going on at one time. Which,
it's way too much for one go.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking to myself, God forbid they tried running a Rogue Trader tournament on top of this. I don't think there's a fan base for 40K out there that's large enough for a Rogue Trader tournament. But it's still, I mean, you had the guys that played in the War Machine Hordes tournament almost the entire day, for 3/4 of the day. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh! Top 8. A lot of the Magic guys, I think once that got going, none of them really left the room. I could be mistaken because I didn't jump into the Magic room that often.
Yeah. But I mean, I was in the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and unfortunately, I didn't make it very far. But I was in there for a pretty good part of the day, waiting for a next match, or and I only dueled 3 times, and it took almost an hour and a half for those 3 duels.
Oh, let's see here. Your first duel started at what, 2 p.m.?
2 p.m.
And we got out of there
about 5.
About 5, so that's actually 3 hours.
3 hours. So, I mean, it was an hour per duel, and
which
it's not bad, but it's just.
Well, I know with my background in old school Magic tournaments, our tournaments are standard. The standard tournament length.
Yeah.
So that part isn't bad, but the sheer fact of 8 going on, plus the speakers, plus the video room, we need more time, which is our other con.
Yeah.
Which all this rolls into, is this really, if it's playing all this again next year, it needs to be a 2-day convention. Roll it over into part of Sunday. Increase the, I'd be willing to pay the extra $250 or bump it up to $10 for a 2-day pass.
Yeah. Same
Simply
here.
To increase the time, this allows for more speakers. You're not trying to jam pack all these tournaments at one point, and it gives some extra time for the dealers to be able to pack up on Sunday or that night or Saturday night. Because there was the anime dealer, the only real anime dealer that went up there, who has a store in Lubbock, was packing up at about 6:30. Because he had the 2-hour drive back to his shop.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm hoping he may enough to come out next year, because I really liked a lot of stuff that he had.
Yeah, and hopefully next time we have some more money, so we can actually pick up some of his stuff. But
Yeah, that's kind of a con. But the thing is, it makes it easier on everybody with how much there was to do to expand it out.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping happens.
And if they did do it, they could split it up 4 tournaments one day, 4 the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it would actually, help out with time frames, and that actually give the panelists some more, breathing room.
Yes. Which actually flows right into our next con, which is the layout.
Yes, the layout.
And I will, before we start going to this, it was at the Amarillo Convention Center. So that means part of the layout is based on how the rooms are. But unfortunately, as you can see in some of our other videos that are already up and are going to be posted, the same room where the panelists were was where the dealer's room was.
Yes, and if all of you know from con experience, putting a dealer room where your panelists are going to be talking and where you're going to have cosplay contests and all that stuff, it's not generally a very good idea.
That's when we start getting the volume wars going, because the dealers are now having to speak up louder. The groups like Amp Guard, Armstrong Fire, Texas Panhandle Paranormal, hopefully I got your guys' name right, I get a chance to stop at their table. They're having to talk louder just to get their information out. Now times that by the full dealer's room, as the volume wars go, there's going to be a lot of dealers that probably went home with sore throats Saturday night.
Yes. But that's one thing about the layout. And then also with the gaming and the video and all those other rooms back there that you'll see in the video as well. It was just...
It could have been done better. Part of the dealer's room got overflowed into there because of space. Granted, that's, my book, that's kind of a good thing, because we were able to see a lot more card singles and everything out there, and kind of, and where a lot of people that were going to be doing it were going to be there and weren't crowding the tables in the dealer's room. But the problem is, you had the main area where you had a lot of demos, Yu-Gi-Oh, War Machine Horrors going on. You had another off room where the viewing room, Yeah, another room that basically went unused 95% of the day because of not a huge turnout for the handheld Pokemon tournament.
Yes.
And the full magic, and everybody's stuck in the magic room. Which, that space, I know they had the door for the loading ramp there, but that space probably could have been utilized a little bit better, a little bit differently. Maybe have one of the rooms as a secondary panel room so we could have some other panels going. Because none of the panels there were no anime panels. It was a lot of the panels were either comic or steampunk based.
Yes.
Granted, I never listened to the guys who do. Okay, now the dealer's room layout itself. It was the same room that they were doing the panels in. So you had the chairs and everything set up. And it was just kind of a problem with the flow of traffic.
Yeah, like when they had panels going on, when you go to a panel, you want to watch it. But when you have the dealer's room right there, you tend not to sit down. And even though, if you look in the video, you'll see that there wasn't any seats available in certain times. So that kind of hurt it because it just literally completely shut that whole row off.
Which also happened to be the end of 3 alleyways for the dealer's room. And it ended up being, like I said, people were having to stand up for some of them, especially the really popular ones like the cosplay competitions.
And a lot of the random dancing and stuff like that. Like, of course it's going to happen at a con, but,
Rule 33.
Rule 33. So, but I mean, it's just it's kind of a pain if you have to walk all the way around in an M shape to see all the vendors and stuff like that. So that kind of hurt it because there's some people that aren't going to want to walk all the way around to get to their other stuff in an M fashion. So it just too clogged.
Very easy.
That sense, yeah. So that'd be something that
definitely
improve.
Yeah. Maybe use the rooms like where the Magic and the Yu-Gi-Oh and all that was as the panel rooms.
Yeah.
Just thought, but like I said, this all goes back to it being done at the Amarillo Convention Center. So they do have some limitations on to what can go where.
Yeah. And dealing with the convention center, I know. It happens. They like to tell you exactly what you can and cannot do in that convention center.
And which rooms you
can and
really
can't use.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So all in all, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was a wonderful convention.
Okay. Now, big thing is, these were the ones that we were able to come up with and decide with. Okay. Any pros and cons that you felt personally?
Me personally need more anime voice actors and some anime video game actors. Just kind of throwing it out there. Maybe for next year, maybe can do that and stuff. Because I'm a lover for anime. I mean, I love getting autographs and stuff, even though I still haven't, but I want to. And if it's at Amicon, it's closer, and maybe you guys can pull Dan Green. Please. I'm just kidding. Poor thing. But no, yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that I had a bad thing about is just I needed more voice actors and anime-based stuff, kind of like that. So, because, yeah. And you?
Unfortunately, mine rose right into the same thing because it was billed as comics, steampunk, and anime, having all 3 of those there. And when the anime presence is, kind of limited to what's being shown in the dealers in the video room. Granted, it was saw the original black and white Astro Boys 30-minute serials, which it's classic anime. I love classic anime. But when you're just showing, the stuff in there, you have the one dealer that came from Lubbock, which was had a lot of the hardcore anime stuff. Other than the few booths that had, little bits of anime here, or the occasional manga. It's like, this is good and all, but I wouldn't mind seeing more. And on top of that, when all the speakers are either comic book or steampunk based, there's some serious problems in my book. Me, I've got no problem volunteering, to do a couple of anime panels if they want it.
Yes.
Intro to anime, maybe some animes that would be good to get people into. Animes based off of your levels, basic, intermediate, advanced. But the sheer fact that there weren't any actual, anime panels for people to discuss and talk about is just kind of like, okay, let's have the anime. Granted, there were a lot of good anime-based cosplays, but just no panels.
Very, very little anime.
Yeah. Very little. So, but then again, it was kind of put on by the library, and a lot of people probably don't realize that if you go to the Amarillo Public Libraries, especially if you record there, that you can check out the mangas that they have and the animes that they have there, along with everything else, the books and the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just one of those things that needs to really kind of get going in the Amarillo area, I guess.
Is anime.
So, but still, hey, like I said, I'm open, I'm volunteering right now, if you guys are watching this, to come out next year and run a couple of panels, 1 or 2 panels if they want.
Yeah.
So other than that, like I said, a lot of the pros, it was nicely run. Aside from how jam-packed full it was for some day.
Yeah.
That's that's really the only problems I had with it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing personal that, I was kind of about.
Yeah. And it would be okay if we could, have copies of ourselves do different things, but, sadly we can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
full human cloning to that point is not here yet. Along with D-mail.
And probably be illegal. Probably be instantly illegal.
So. Anyways, that's a whole nother discussion.
That's a whole other discussion that we'll save for another time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I guess we can go ahead and get to our rating for the con.
Sounds like a plan to me.
We've got our rating system. It's from 1 to 10. 1 being never. And 10 being I put it on my calendar for the year after and the next year.
Yeah, 10 is basically a mecha.
Mecha, yeah.
Would be like AX level. Or pretty,
Yeah.
This is like, one of the things you have to be there.
Yeah.
So, it gives you an idea.
So, what would you rate this one?
Except for, a lot of great pros, the con, it's just the problems with the layout and how much there's there at one shot just really brings, the score down. But, I'm a sucker for good causes. The money was raised for the Friends of the Library to help buy stuff for the library. So it's always a good thing. Unfortunately, I have to give it, a 6.5.
Okay. Alright.
And your rating?
Me, you heard my cons. You heard the cons that we've both found. I'm going to have to give it a 6.
Oh.
And that's only because it didn't have my anime flow that I like. And that's voice actors, panels, that sort of thing. And then more, a little about maybe two more anime vendors at least. Maybe some with some ramenade or something like that. Yeah. I understand it's at the convention center, but it's
the addict needs his fix.
Yes. Well, come on, you're worse than me. World's Market.
Hey, if I can get a case for it quickly. So overall, the Kon-Trooll score is going to be a 6.25 for Amicon 2013.
Yeah.
Which for a second year, is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They got growing pains to deal with.
Now they know.
Hopefully, a lot of both positive and negative feedback.
Maybe they'll fix it.
Help them out.
Help them out. And, you know, just make those little improvements to help make the con an enjoyable experience for, you know, the ones that didn't have a good time, which we didn't hear anything bad, but, you know, just for those people that, you know, just in case.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask, some people are going to have a bad time no matter what you do, but...
Yeah. But, yeah, that's pretty much what we were wanting to get across, so...
Definitely, you know, it's definitely works in mine. And, you know, honestly, we're planning on going back next year, cover it next year. They already have the date out for 2014, and that's going to be July 12th, which is going to be the weekend after the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah. So it should be interesting.
Very.
People are going to be taking 2-week vacations, that's all I'm saying.
It works, though.
Yeah, it works. So, yeah, I think we're pretty much, yeah.
That's everything for this one.
That's everything for this one, yeah. So I guess this is going to be Kon-Trooll signing out.
What's up, everybody? This is Cheston from Kon-Trooll. If you like our videos, make sure to check out the rest of our channel, especially some of the really great action that we get from a lot of these conventions, our weekly news, and our bi-weekly podcasts. Yeah, we're going to try and get a bit more regularly. So make sure to check out some of our really awesome videos, especially when you see Rule 33 in action, or check out our first podcast and work from there. As always, make sure click to subscribe, like, share it out, let all your friends know. If nothing else, you might see something interesting.